Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to Raptors Flex Plus. I am your host, Kyle, man. It is cold outside. Freezing. I'm seeing people out there jogging and stuff, man. They are dedicated. Good for them, man. I'm in my house. I'm blowing my hands. Like, man, it is cold, but the Raptors are on a road trip and they picked the right time to get on this road trip, man. The right time, starting off in Memphis last night, and they're probably in Cali right now in some shorts. You know what I mean? Not me, though. Not me. Staying warm, yo. Staying warm. But last night was just a fantastic effort by the Toronto Raptors. Immanuel Quickley, y'all. Now, listen, man. Immanuel Quickley had a great offensive game. Fantastic offensive game. But, let's not forget about what RJ Barrett did last night as well. You know what I'm saying? These two guys being integrated immediately into the starting lineup after that trade. I don't think I've seen, two players just seamlessly fit into a team as quickly, no pun intended, as these two players have in the first two games. Now, I get it. It's only been two games. So, I'm not trying to jump out the window with it, but I feel like we are significantly a better basketball team since making that trade for those two players. Right? All that other stuff that we talked about in 2023, I left it behind there. I'm looking at this team moving forward now. We did the first term report card at the end of December. The trade happened immediately after that. And it's perfect timing. Perfect timing. Now I can look at this team for what they are in this midterm to late term. And we'll grade that out at some point. But so far, Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, along with most of these Toronto Raptors, they are getting a passing grade for these last two games. Last two games. Immanuel Quickley started off slow in this game, right? And then he gets to the free throw line, hits a couple of free throws, late in the second quarter. And then from then on, curry chicken, fam. Just nyamming food. Nyamming food, man. I am just so happy watching this basketball team, man. It is now fun again to watch the Toronto Raptors. Now, it's always fun when you get a win, right? But the way that this team is playing, the way that they're pushing the ball in the fast break, the way that they have multiple players that can ball handle, the way that we're just interchanging on defense. Now, that's another point, man. You lose your best defender and you kind of expect the defense to take a real hit. But so far, RJ Barrett has been able to slide in defensively and play a good game. Immanuel Quickley, I thought that in the first game, there were some things I saw from him defensively that I wasn't in love with, but he had a great bounce back game defensively tonight. And I think that's one thing a lot of people aren't going to be talking about today because he had an offensive explosion late in that second quarter and then the rest of the second half. Offensive explosion. It is so good to just watch this team win 3 quarters, yo. 3 out of the 4 quarters. Because previously, we're talking about when you lose all 4 quarters, you can't win the game. It's a fact. Right? It's a fact. But when you win 3 out of the 4 quarters, you give yourself a really good opportunity to win a basketball game. And now this is 2 straight games where the Raptors have got up 20 points on the opponent. One at home against the Cavs, and now last night against the Grizzlies on the road. And that's a part, that point right there is what brings a smile to my face, yo. Playing somewhat of a complete game on the road. Now, the fourth quarter, Fourth quarter was not good, but I don't think it was as bad as it seemed, right? When you go back and watch it, the Raptors are getting opportunities to score, but they're missing shots. And Memphis, they just caught fire with Zaire Williams and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane and, of course, Ja Morant, right? You know those guys are going to make a comeback. They're not just going to get slapped up all game. They've been a different team since Ja's come back. They were 5-2 heading into this game with Ja Morant in the lineup. And it felt like we were just going to blow out this team. It felt like, Pascal's going to sit down the stretch, which he got into foul trouble in this game. So he kind of sat anyways. But in terms of getting up on a team by 20, you thought Scottie was going to sit down the stretch. But Memphis made a comeback, and good to them for it, man. But in totality, it kind of goes back to what Javon Shepherd was saying the other day on Raptors Tonight that I also talked about on the podcast on the last episode. He was talking about in the modern day NBA, basically teams are going to score. And defense is really going to come into play in the last 4 minutes of the game. And that is what I saw yesterday, verbatim. I think it was 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes left. And then the Raptors turned up the defense and just halted the comeback. Halted it. Now, the offense wasn't running on all cylinders go type thing in the fourth quarter. But when it was time to get down and get to the line and hit some buckets, the Raptors did their thing, and it was a great W by the Raptors, man. Just a good team effort. Let me just get a crowd applause for them, y'all. Yeah, man. Let's look at some of these stats, man, because Immanuel Quickley, like I said, had himself just a game last night. A game. And I don't know if anyone expected all of this to happen so quickly, no pun intended, really. But again, the seamless integration of these two players into the starting lineup has been nothing but spectacular. Nothing but spectacular for me, right? Now, there's always room for improvement. Always room for improvement. But RJ hit some big shots down the stretch in this game. He had a great first half, all around first half, playing defense, pushing the ball down the court. So he went 5 for 12, which is a pretty good game for him. 2 for 5 from 3, that's 40% for 14 points. Also had himself, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Great game for RJ. Great game for RJ. And defensively, he was just in man shorts, creating turnovers, either dead ball turnovers or turnovers that can get into the fast break. The Raptors did their thing in the fast break, as I mentioned earlier. Pascal Siakam, 9 for 14, 64% from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, but 5 for 6 from the free throw line for 24 points. And he was playing with foul trouble for most of the game, right? He caught 2 fouls in that first quarter, and that didn't stop him from being able to cook. They're starting to call these guys spicy BBQ, spicy barbecue, right? You have Pascal the Spicy, and then you have BBQ, Barnes, Barrett, and Quickley. Spicy barbecue, dog. Proper things that were going on, man, because the Raptors were just fooding, yo. And Jakob Poeltl. So when you look at the stat line, this is a player that's been shooting 70% from the field, right? Only shot 2 of 7 tonight. Not his best shooting percentage by any stretch this season. But he had himself just as good as a game as any other Toronto Raptor or any other player on the floor tonight. Okay? 2 for 7 from the field, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Now, that is something that we are going to need from Jakob Poeltl because he's literally the worst free throw shooter on the team. But when he's not a liability, which now he played down the stretch last night, down the stretch, we've seen in many games where Poeltl is a liability down the stretch. A liability simply because you can't hit free throws. But had himself a great game. 8 rebounds, 5 blocks, just anchoring the defense with bare blocks last night. Bare blocks. That is what you want from Jakob Poeltl. That is exactly what you want from Jakob Poeltl. Obviously, you want the shooting percentage to be higher. He missed some bunnies at the basket, but you also have like two-time Defensive Player of the Year down there, Jaren Jackson Jr. So no matter what the Raptors do down there, they got to be aware of Jackson Jr. being down there. Another player that is a player of that is a son of a former NBA player. We're starting to see a few of them come into the league, right? This new generation of players. And I thought Jakob Poeltl handled himself beautifully tonight. Beautifully. Just anchoring down there on the defensive end. Scotty Barnes, if you watch the game, for me personally, y'all might feel different. It might have felt like Scotty went missing at times, but all the little things that he was doing on the court, all the little things, making defensive plays, making reads, making passes, setting screens, which is also something Jakob Poeltl did yesterday as well, because they kept talking about on the broadcast. He was drilling man's like fundamental screens, screen assists, all those types of things were coming into play. And Scotty Barnes was doing the same thing, right? But when you look at the end of stat line for Scotty Barnes, 7 for 14 from the floor, 50%, 2 of 5 from 3 for 40%, 4 of 4 free throws. Now, man, if the Raptors in totality can continue to shoot the free throw the way that they've been doing the last couple of games, man, that can make all the difference in the world for this team. All the difference in the world. 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He had 8 rebounds, or was it 2 rebounds, 8 assists? Yeah. 2 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal for 20 points. Yo, this is our starting lineup, guys. And then Immanuel Quickley, IQ. Like I said, he started slow, but once he started going, man, he was drilling those threes. 5 for 8 from 3. Getting some floaters in the lane, some layups at the bucket, getting to the line, like in critical moments getting to the line, right? There was a time down the stretch there where Memphis was making their run, and Immanuel Quickley kind of dribbled out the ball, got some movement going, but he took some time off the clock, and then he cleared out Scotty Barnes because he had Aldama on him. He's like, yo, clear out. Took Aldama off the dribble, foul, get to the line, 2 free throws. And I felt like that point started to change the game. And then Scotty Barnes, I believe, hit a 3 after that. Like, that is just like timely stuff. Timely stuff. Now, I know everyone wants Immanuel Quickley to be the point guard of the future and all that, and he will get there. There were some times when he missed some open guys off the cut. Like, one play, Boucher was like jumping up and down, like, give me the ball. That might have even been a Schroeder. But either way, I thought Schroeder and Immanuel Quickley missed some opportunities to find some layups today. Or last night. And that'll get cleaned up as time goes, especially for Immanuel Quickley, a guy that just got here 3 days ago, like 5 assists in this game. 5 assists. Had himself a really, really good game, man. A really, really good game. Like, our starting lineup killed it last night. Now, I know the plus minuses when you look at it, -2 for RJ, -1 for Pascal, -9 for Poeltl, +2 for Scotty, +9 for Immanuel Quickley. But like, when you watch the game, like, these guys were cooking and they were playing defense. It was really just that fourth quarter where the Raptors were really leaking oil, where you see where now they're into the negative parts of it. But for most of the game, plus minus, these guys were in the plus side. You know what I'm saying? Gary Trent didn't have himself the greatest game, but Dennis Schroeder, like I was saying yesterday, I love this new role for Dennis Schroeder, y'all. I love this new role for Dennis Schroeder. My problem with him was never really his play, right? My problem with Dennis Schroeder was, number one, the shot selection sometimes, right? And then number two, when you actually look at it, I didn't like what the Raptors were asking of him, asking him to be the lead guard on the team. Now, he played it out of necessity. It was something that we had to have after losing Fred. Is that Schroeder's fault? No, it's not his fault. And that's why I gave him a B grade. But at the same time, we know that he's not the guy that's meant for that role. So the front office going out and getting Immanuel Quickley, this feels like just a perfect spot for Dennis Schroeder to be first, second player off the bench and still play minutes. He played 30 minutes last night. That's basically starters minutes. So for players like that, right, the Dennis Schroeders, the Gary Trents of the world, yeah, you might not be starting, but you're still playing a significant role on the basketball team. And that is what we needed from those two players, right? Especially Dennis Schroeder last night. Had himself a great game. Listen, this is a bench player now that still put up 16 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. No turnovers. No turnovers. Dennis Schroeder is playing good basketball, y'all. I know that we want to get down on him because, again, I think it was just the role that the coaching staff and the front office was asking him to do. And to be honest with you, he held fort until we got the reinforcements in Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, yo. But I like this role for Dennis Schroeder, man. We also saw Chris Boucher get in last night. He had himself a really good game as well for his standards, right? 10 points. And this is what I was talking about from him too, right? I don't need him to score 15. But if you're flirting around the 10-point range and you're getting all those like mucky baskets down low, mucking it up, getting to the loose balls, those types of things, that is what I want from you. 8 rebounds last night. Couple of them were tip-ins on the offensive rebound. Like, that is what we need. We need activity down there. And Chris Boucher had himself a good game in 13 minutes, and he's being an ultimate professional. Because remember, Jonte Porter got in over him, right? Jonte Porter was the first big off the bench. And remember what I was saying last episode? I was like, yo, Jonte Porter is traveling with the team. So don't be surprised if we see him on this 6-game road trip. I was surprised to see him so early in the game, but he played well, y'all. Jonte Porter played well, right? Within expectation. Within expectation. Like, what are your expectations for Jonte Porter? Okay? What are your expectations for him? My expectation was that he was going to come off the bench, play 7 to 10 minutes, muck it up, play some defense, get some rebounds, and just play solid D, set some screens. Like, that is the big guy that I've been talking about. And it looked like he can actually, like, shoot the basketball because the way that he was just letting a couple of those threes go, he was shooting it with confidence. Shooting it with confidence. Now, they didn't go down for him. They did not go down for him last night, but I might need to go back and look at what his, like, overall shooting percentages is for, like, his career, whether in the G League, college, wherever he may have played. But the way he's shooting it with confidence looks like he's ready to shoot some threes. And that would be a welcoming sight to get some threes out of the 5 position. But I thought he played a great game, contesting without fouling, just going straight up, fundamental, setting screens, making the right reads. I remember one play he got the ball down low where he could have easily gone up, but Jaren Jackson Jr. was under there, and then he made a pass that led to a pass that led to a 3, right? Those are winning plays. Winning plays. I am optimistic, man. I am optimistic. If Jonte Porter can do that type of basketball every single night, set some screens, get some rebounds, give us a solid 8 to 10 minutes, maybe even 8 to 12 minutes on some nights, depending on the matchup, and hit a couple shots, we may have found something until Koloko gets back. Because I was saying previously, I'm like, yo, my personal opinion, and I'm saying to us Raptors fans that are listening, right? I think we need to hold off on the Pascal trades, okay? Hold off. Now, the front office is going to do their due diligence. They're going to check in on things, check the market, right? Because Pascal has been playing out of his mind recently. This is some of the best basketball, if not the best basketball, that he's been playing all season in totality. And part of that is because the jumper is now starting to look a lot more similar to what it's looked like previously in previous seasons, right? hitting some threes. Hit a corner three last night. I was like, yo, man, finally. But it wasn't just that. He had like a mid-range jumper that did, he's starting to look like, I shouldn't say he's starting to look like. On some plays, when he's doing like that fallback mid-range, you know what I'm saying? The fallback mid-range, he had one from like the right side wing. And then he also had one from like the left side baseline. It was looking very Dirk Nowitzki-esque. I'm not saying he's Dirk Nowitzki now, right? I'm not saying Pascal Siakam is a Hall of Fame player that can carry a team to a championship. Don't get me out of context. What I'm saying is that particular shot, the one leg fallback, looking very Dirk Nowitzki-like, yo. Looking very Dirk Nowitzki-like. But I digress, right? You start to get some of those minutes out of Jontay Porter now, right? Because I've been saying I want to see this team plus another big. And I wasn't sure how we were going to get that big, right? But if Jontay Porter can fill some of that role until Christian Koloko gets back, if he's able to get back, that would be a godsend for the Raptors. That would be a godsend for the Raptors because you literally sign a guy from the G League and he's giving you significant minutes if he can sustain this level of play. And when I say significant minutes, I'm not saying he needs to play 30 minutes a night and all that type of stuff. Again, right? You play your 8 to 12 minutes, give us what you gave us last night, plus maybe one or two of those threes drop. I'm good with that. I am good with that. The man understands basketball and he plays fundamentally sound basketball, right? So I am just like ecstatic with what we're getting out of this Raptors team, man. Ecstatic. And Immanuel Quickley led the way yesterday. Right? Like being able to get those types of 3-point shots, right? Where you're just coming down on the fast break. You make a little, excuse me, you make a little room for yourself, step back and drill a three. Or you come off of the pin down around another screen, 3. Catch and shoot, 3. Dribble handoff, 3. Like, yo, this guy's hitting threes in multiple different actions. And that is something that's been missing from this team. Guys that can find shots from anywhere on the floor in all types of different actions. And I think what we're seeing from like the 3-point game for Immanuel Quickley is really what we would love to see from Gary Trent Jr. But Gary Trent Jr. is just not that type of guy. Like Gary Trent Jr., catch and shoot, man. Catch and shoot. I don't believe Gary Trent to make his own types of threes. Now, he hit a couple of big ones last night, or he hit a big one last night. He hit one big one last night, right? But nevertheless, man, Immanuel Quickley, the pressure that he puts on the defense, even just going downhill and getting into the lane, right? And then being able to draw out defenders. You kick it back out to the 3-point line. Scotty Barnes drills a 3. RJ Barrett hits a 3. Like, modern day NBA, you need 3-point shooting, yo. And with the Raptors being so weak in that category for a majority of the season so far prior to the trade, like, this is fun again to watch this basketball team play. It is fun. Tell me you're not having fun watching the Raptors the last 2 basketball games, yo. Now, I know that there's people out there that are like, damn, man, Raptors also got up 20 in both of these games and they let it slip, all right? But again, it goes back to the Javon Shepherd thing, man. Score, play defense late, good to go, man. Good to go. But they also talked about on the broadcast how the Raptors, and probably everyone's talking about this, right? Because it's just so glaring in terms of what we saw with this team early on this season to what we've seen from them the last, or I won't say the last 2 games, but definitely last game against the Grizzlies. Closing out the quarters, man. Closing out the quarters. That is called winning basketball. Winning basketball. First quarter, they finished a 13-4 run. Second quarter, finished on a 15-2 run. There was also an 11-0 run in there. Third quarter, you finish on a 13-6 run. Like, where was that? But I understand now we have the players now to do that. We have the players. Because if you look at that second quarter now, right? I actually wrote this down. You had an IQ 3, then a Siakam 3. Then Pirtle gets an offensive rebound and he finishes. And then IQ gets another 3. So that's 2 threes from IQ, 1 from Siakam, and then Pirtle mucking it up down low, stealing 2 points away. That's an 11-0 run. That's an 11-0 run. That is like fantastic basketball, y'all. Fantastic. And then after that, Siakam hit a J. Like, man, I'm telling you. Barnes closed out that second quarter with a nice inbounds play, got it on the baseline, hit the shot, man. Hit the shot. These are things that we haven't become accustomed to with this year's version of the Toronto Raptors. Closing the quarters and getting multiple players to get in on the action. You know? Like, we've seen Scotty Barnes go on a run by himself. We've seen Pascal Siakam go on a run by himself. But, like, to have multiple players included in on these runs, like, these are the types of things that has me so optimistic about this new squad. Don't be so quick to trade Pascal, y'all. Don't be so quick. Don't be so quick. But you know what my favorite part of this basketball game was? And it might seem like a little thing, but like, okay, so the Raptors finished that second half strong, right? They finished on the run, 15-2 run, 11-0 at one point down there, and then they start the third quarter now, okay? IQ comes out, hits a 3 to start the second half, third quarter. Then he gets a floater in the lane immediately. Taylor Jenkins, the Memphis coach, had to call a timeout after 47 seconds in the second half. Yo, man, like, it's different, yo. It's hitting different. It's hitting different, man. I know, man. I know that we gave up a big lead in this game. I know that we did. But let's not act like Jaren Jackson Jr. wasn't on fire in that fourth quarter. I think he hit like 3 or 4 threes in that fourth quarter. 1 or 2 of them might have been open. But like, Jaren Jackson Jr. is killing you from the 3-point line. You might be okay with him shooting that instead of him dominating down low, getting your guys into foul trouble, especially when Pascal is playing with 5. You know? Zaire Williams. Let's actually look at the Memphis stats real quick, just to be fair, right? We looked at the Raptors stats, but like, Zaire Williams had probably his best game of the season yesterday, right? Probably had his best game of the season yesterday. So let's look at the Memphis stats, right? Marcus Smart, not the best game offensively for him, right? But like, one thing I saw from Marcus Smart, and I think this is where RJ is going to have to grow up a little bit. It looked like Marcus Smart was starting to get in under RJ's skin a little bit there in the second half, and it kind of threw RJ off of his game a little bit. He was pressing a little bit too much, but that's literally what Marcus Smart does. You don't look at the box score to see Marcus Smart's impact on the game. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to watch the game to see his impact on the game. And I thought the Raptors did a good job just kind of minimalizing his impact on the game yesterday. He was trying to get in under Pascal. And Pascal's just like, yo, get off me, guy. Easy finish floater in the lane. Like, guy, bounce. Go do that to somebody else, yo. And then Marcus Smart had to go over and try to bother RJ Barrett because Pascal wasn't having none of it, yo. Pascal wasn't having none of it. Pascal's now a veteran in the league, yo. So now, Marcus Smart, he can get under anyone's skin on any given night, but I thought Pascal did a good job of not letting Marcus Smart bother him, even though Pascal was getting like some weak fouls called on him yesterday that I didn't love, but at the same time, you're not going to argue against it, okay? So Marcus Smart didn't really matter in the box sheet, but we saw his impact on the game. Jaren Jackson Jr. went 4 for 8 from three, 50%. And I know for a fact it was at least 3 of them in the fourth quarter. At least 3 of them. So we had him on the wraps in this game. We had him on the wraps. But he still had himself a really good game. He had 4 blocks, ended up with 24 points, wasn't too dominant on the board. He only had 1 offensive rebound. And that's why I want to give Pirtle some love, man. I want to give Pirtle some love. And even Jonte Porter, I seen Jonte Porter do a fundamental box out, guy. A fundamental box out. And that was the type of stuff I was talking about earlier on in the season. I'm like, yo, like, I know NBA players right now rely a lot on their athleticism to get rebounds and things of that nature. But like, if you just go back to the fundamental and just box out, like, everything will be blessed. And I saw Jonte Porter do that yesterday. He just did a lot of really good fundamental type plays yesterday, right? So big ups to him, man, and to Jakob Poeltl, because those guys, our bigs, played well yesterday, and Chris Boucher. But Jaren Jackson Jr. went off in that fourth quarter, y'all. He went off in that fourth quarter. This is a guy that, yo, he's a player. I can't remember if he made the All-Star team or not last year, but I'm pretty sure he did. If he didn't, he probably should have. But, like, he had himself a good game. Xavier Tillman, getting cooked, yo, getting cooked. This guy's trying to guard Pascal, but he ain't got it like that. He ain't got it like that. But Desmond Bane, no. Desmond Bane, he's the guy that he was getting off yesterday, where, I don't know, on a few plays, I don't want to attach this to Scotty Barnes or to Dennis Schroeder or any of those types of guys. But Desmond Bane going downhill yesterday at the bucket, he was getting like shots at the buckets, layups at the bucket. Couple of times Pirtle sent him packing, but like Desmond Bane's game is, he does more than just shoot, man. He's a nice player to watch, yo. Had himself a good game also yesterday, 22 points. Ja Morant, superstar. Ja Morant, the only superstar in this game. Let's keep it a buck, yo. We got some guys that we love on the Raptors. We got Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, and Immanuel Quickley, these guys. But listen, Ja Morant is on a different level. He is a superstar, franchise player, type of guy that you build your franchise around, yo. Don't mind all the off-court stuff, yo. When Ja Morant is on the court, he's a player, dog, and no one's going to deny that. Had himself a good game yesterday. He got going as well for most of the game. 28, 9, and 8. He was playing yesterday. But like, really, the guy that like led me to go look at these stats was Zaire Williams, yo. Down here at the bottom. 7 for 12 from the field, 58% from percentage, 4 of 7 from 3. It looked like he went 4 of 4. I don't even remember him missing a 3 yesterday. It just seemed like every time he put up a 3, actually the only 3 I remember him missing was like at the end of the game. But it looked like he was hitting all of his threes, man. He had 18 points yesterday to go along with 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He made all the difference for Memphis yesterday, right? He was their scoring off the bench because the rest of those guys, they weren't really saying nothing, yo. They weren't really saying nothing. But like, yo, they had some guys, like their top guys were going, and those guys are tough to stop, man. I still think Jaren Jackson Jr. got a little bit too much for my liking, but because it wasn't really working for him inside, he started going outside shooting threes, and it was something that the Memphis Grizzlies needed to have as well because they were down big for a lot of that third quarter, end of second quarter, third quarter, and parts of the fourth quarter, right? So not even parts of the fourth quarter, early fourth quarter, they were down. But yeah, like I thought the Raptors did a really good job yesterday, for the most part, guarding in this game, right? For a lot of the night, Memphis was around 30-something% shooting. They ended up at 42% because they got hot in the fourth quarter. But like at the end of the third quarter, these guys were shooting 39.7%. So we had them under 40 for most of the game. It was really just that fourth quarter where they caught fire. And I don't even think the Raptors played terrible defense. It's that shots weren't flowing, and then Memphis was able to like capture some momentum and try to not even try. They actually like cut the lead out a little bit, but the Raptors held steady at the end, right? But anyways, rebounds pretty much the same. Assists pretty much the same. Listening to Darko in the press conference, he was saying he wants to get around 30 assists. And I kind of agree with him because I feel like there were some missed opportunities within this game. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to like get in on these guys when you're incorporating two new guys into the lineup. Everybody's learning how to play with each other, and you're getting W's, right? So you're learning each other while winning. And that is the important part when you bring new players into the fold at this part in the season, right? Steals, they got up on us too. We had one more block. Shout out to Jakob Pertl. He had 5 of those 6 blocks, just dominating, right? Turnovers, you can't be too mad at it for the most part. I mean, that's pretty damn good. I think last year we led the league. We're around 11 or 10 or something like that. In not assists, turnovers per game. But like to only have 12 turnovers with all these new guys in the lineup, like it's pretty damn good, man. That's a pretty good stat. Now, while we're on the topic of turnovers, man, RJ Barrett, bro, you got to get your head up, man. Listen, I like he had a fantastic first half. He might have been like our best player all around in the first half yesterday. But the tunnel vision, bro, when you're getting into the lane, like sometimes it works for you. Mans are just bouncing off when you're able to get the ball high, right? When you keep the ball high, mans are bouncing off of you, you can finish, right? But like when that ball is low and you're not really like looking around, you're getting stripped, yo. You're getting stripped. You need to keep your head up and anticipate the defensive sag and where you might want to go with the basketball. And maybe part of that might be just learning how to play with the other players on the court a little bit more, understanding like the schematics of the offense in terms of where you expect players to be. But I'm not sure that that's it. I think this is just RJ, yo. I think at times he just has tunnel vision just from me watching him in the past. And we will learn, or he will learn, if the Raptors can get back to developing players the way that we have done historically in the past. Like that is something that I want the Raptors to work with RJ on, yo. Just his facilitation when he gets into the lane, yo. And understanding where to go at the basketball. Because once you're starting like breaking out that part of your game where there's a threat of making that right pass, and I'm not saying he doesn't do it, right? I'm not saying he doesn't do it, but like on a consistent basis, when there's a threat that you're going to get that ball out to the right player where maybe that player doesn't even take the shot. It might be the pass that leads to the bucket, right? He's going to have to get better with that, yo. Straight up and straight down. And I saw a few of those 12 turnovers are from RJ Barrett specifically, yo. We could probably even just look at this real quick, actually. Because let's see what his turnovers were yesterday. RJ Barrett had 3 turnovers. And I'm pretty sure a few of them were just on the strip in the lane. Okay. One of them was the charge that was drawn from Marcus Smart. All right. But nevertheless, Raptors shot 48% field goal percentage. We've seen them have high field goal percentage before, but the 3-point shooting, 46.2%, and the free throw shooting, 81.5%. I'll take that every night. Every night. Every single night. Points in the paint, dead even, right? I thought both teams were defending the rim really well yesterday. Jaren Jackson Jr. did his thing over on the Memphis side. Jakob Pertl did his thing over on the Toronto side. You even had Barnes in there defending the rim. I thought the Raptors did a really good job doing that. And even Jonte Porter, again, defending without fouling. He may not have got the blocks, but he didn't foul, and there were missed shots based on him playing good defense. So mans were playing defense in the paint yesterday. Second chance points, dead even as well. But there were a couple of those critical moments. Like I said, Chris Boucher tipping, Jakob Pertl, offensive rebound finish. These are the types of things that we're going to have to get from our team. But the most important thing is that we only gave up 13 in Memphis. We've seen games where we've given up 20 plus in this category. And then fast break, like I said, the last 2 games, I've just loved how we've run the fast break. Tonight, we weren't filling the lanes as well as we did against Cleveland, right? But I thought that the decision making was pretty good more times than not on the fast break, yo. So just fantastic stuff from the Raptors tonight. Like, I'm not mad at these guys at all. At all. Right? Like, number one, you can't be mad with a win. Number two, I know that we got down. So we got up and then it looked like we were leaking oil there at the end, but we held steady defensively under those 4 minutes, right? We closed out every quarter well, every single one of them. We closed out every quarter well. We've seen some good offense tonight from Pascal, Scotty, RJ, Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel Quickley went off in this game. Went off. Pascal Siakam, just an efficient night. Scotty Barnes, just an efficient night. What are we mad at, Raptors fans? These guys just got here. They just got here. And this team looks significantly different than they've looked all season in just these 2 games. Having guys that can just get you a basket whenever you need a basket, right? Because pretty much we have like 5 guys that can do it. You know what I'm saying? Pascal, Scotty, Quickley, Barrett, Schroeder. Now, you don't want Schroeder doing that for most of the game, but there are times when, he can take you off the dribble and go and score, or take you off the dribble and get to the free throw line. And we've gotten significantly better from the free throw line just by adding these 2 players, right? And then we've had some internal stuff now where you see Scotty hitting more free throws. You see Pascal hitting more free throws consistently. Pirtle gave us a really good game from the line. I know it was only 3 or 4, but that is significant. Going 2 of 4 versus 3 for 4, I'll take the 3 for 4. Okay? That's 75%. I'll take that. So yeah, man. I love it. I love it. I love what I see so far. And I want to see more. I want to see more from this team, yo. That's how you start off a road trip. We go play Sacramento tomorrow night, and that's going to be a tough one. That is going to be a tough one. That team, they've been together for a season and a half now, a couple of seasons, and they are an upper echelon team in the West, right? I forget who they played last year, but they took someone to 7 in the first round. I believe it was Golden State. They took Golden State to 7 in the first round. Like, doesn't that remind you of like the Raptors when we made our first playoff appearance in a long time? I think it was 2014 or 2013, where we took Brooklyn, a veteran squad, to 7 games. Now we came back the next year and got swept by Washington, right? But those are all learning experiences. And then the very next year, things took off for us. So like Sacramento has a lot of that same type of seasoning that reminds me of our Raptors squad, like Colin DeMar, Rita North stuff. So don't sleep on this team. Raptors cannot sleep on this team, right? We can win this game now. Now, when I had like the last episode and I was looking at the next 6 games, I was like, well, you know what? This one might be a L. It might be a L. But the way that, like, where I sit right now, Raptors, go win your first 3-game win streak of the season, yo. Go do that. Go do that. Forget all the conversations about dinner and all that type of stuff. I'm not even mad at that right now. Leave that in 2023. In 2024, we're just trying to win games and get better as a team with these new guys that we've incorporated into the team. We are trying to get better and make a run. It serves us better right now to be a good basketball team that makes the playoffs. If the Spurs want to pick 20th overall, like, are y'all telling me Jakob Poeltl isn't equivalent to like a 20th overall pick? Like, seriously, yo. I know he's not having his greatest season and all that type of stuff. But look at what he did last night. He anchored the defense. He anchored the defense and went toe-to-toe with another all-star. Right? Then we get our first round pick the next year. Bruh, go win games. Go win games. Yeah, man. So that's it for today. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. If you're not subbed, please subscribe, sub up, like, share, comment down below. Let's talk about it, man. Am I just like giving this team too much credit too early? Right? Like in terms of this new cast of guys? Am I giving them too much credit? But like, don't you like what you see on the court? I do. Now, obviously, there's room for improvement, but I like it. Is Immanuel Quickley that guy? I mean, you don't even need to comment on that because he is. He is. We've never had a scorer like that before. A young guard. A young guard. Right? We've had steady guards before, but not like a guard like this with so much quickness that, oh man, that can shoot the ball from anywhere on the court, puts pressure on the defense in the paint, and he's still a really young player, man. So yeah, tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. Do you think that the Raptors, while Pascal Siakam's trade value is high right now because he's playing the best basketball that he's played all season long, is this the time that we need to go make a trade? I don't think it does. But if you think so, put it down below. All right? So until next time, you know the flex. It's me, guy, and I'm out.